Good morning and happy Friday, Value First Nation. It is time for another episode of Value First AI Daily. It is September 19th here with Mr. Nico Lafakis. What's on your mind today, man?
Today, first of all, sorry for missing yesterday, everybody. But things do happen, stuff pops up.
Indeed.
That being said, actually missed a nice little few important pieces of information. There's been a lot like tech wise that's also dropped this week, so we've kind of been skimming over that quite a bit. One of the more important things that dropped that is very crucial to what we do, and we've talked about it a lot, is Google's new A2P, which is agents to payments. And for anybody that's wondering, like, well, I don't understand that. Thought Visa was working on something, this, that, and the other thing. They are, but what's really interesting about this is, we've talked about the fact that, like, okay, but agents are basically digital people, as opposed to what some things are agent like versus these systems that are very autonomous. And because they're autonomous and because they're carrying your information, that makes them sort of walking communicating threats to your information, whether it's banking, personal information, whatever. So there's a concern. And how do we get these agents to talk to each other? Because you have agent proprietors, just like you have, if you're sitting there saying, like, well, of course, we don't have that yet. We're not going that far yet. Well, if you have a customer service agent at the front of your store, you basically have a proprietor halfway there. Anyhow, pretty soon, and I'm sure for most of you, actually, for especially Amazon with Rufus, yeah, you can actually set up an order through some of the front end agents now, right? Again, you can't like do a full purchase, but at least you can like set it up. So for full purchase, there's an element of like responsibility. It's very much like the Waymos. So when there's no one involved, who's responsible? Right? Kind of brings in this like little bit of monetary ethics thing, right? Where it's possible, that your agent goes off and buys something for you because maybe the user didn't set the settings properly. What was one of the really interesting things that I thought about was how disruptive this is to not to the economy, but just how disruptive this is to business in the way that business advertises and in the way that businesses market. Now, they're saying that the marketing is still going to affect the agents, but I can guarantee you that it's going to be based on substance. In other words, if you're known to be right a well-standing, long-standing, high-rated pizza joint, and you throw some marketing out there for an agent, right? The agent's going to pick up on that, and they're going to come to your place. But if you're Jimmy's Sub Shop and you just started making pizzas and you're advertising a pizza deal, so like how come it would go to the other more well-known place? It goes there because my agent is specifically instructed that, like, hey, when you see pizza deals for like $12 for a medium, jump on it. If it's like $12 for a medium cheese, buy it and send it my way. I don't care. I'll be home. Right. Few things could happen there. Right. It's going to ignore Jimmy's Subs place. Right. Because it knows that I want quality pizza and Jimmy's Subs place is a sub place. So even though it's a pizza deal and it could be an $8 pizza deal for that medium, it still goes and it's like, oh, pizza deal, oh, sub store. But then it comes over and it says, oh, there's a $12 deal for a 12-inch pizza from Pizza King. 12 medium Pizza King. Okay, that's a better place to go with because at least I trust it. Now let's go look at ratings, right? So it's like even then it could go back and compare it to the sub shop ratings, and it's like, well, maybe it looks at reviews and it sees what the reviews are on the pizza, right? There's a whole lot, and this is all happening in milliseconds.
Yeah.
All of this cross comparison is just in the, in the flash, right? So there's that, but then there's this other element of like, well, maybe I'm on vacation, and I forgot to tell my agent I'm on vacation, so now there's like pizzas piling up at my door when I get home, right?
I mean, that's why, like, whoever turns the agent on, like, whoever clicks that button is ultimately responsible, in my opinion. At least, like, from a if you're worried about money getting spent, like, and want to suggest that somehow the company who built the agent for you or serves the agent is somehow more responsible than you are. Like, if you're still there, if you have to be the one to turn it on and give it the directive to go buy this stuff in these moments for these reasons, like, I guarantee Google or whoever is going to have the the T's and C's in place to where they will not be liable at all if you click the button to say go buy stuff, right? And likewise on the other side, like, if you if you use your customer agent to field responses, and you say, for this set of responses, I want you to direct them to this page so that they buy this thing, right? As a business, if the agent tells somebody to buy the wrong thing and then they buy it, and then even if it ships, in this world of, like, we're trying to automate everything and we try to remove humans from the wrong places because we care about making money, like, and then the agent, like, for whatever reason, it goes to the wrong place and they buy the wrong thing, and then they get upset at you and want to send it back. You're gonna be liable for the cost of all of that, right? And not the person who built the agent for you, right? Like, if customer, I guarantee it's in HubSpot's T's and C's somewhere, where if something goes wrong with the customer agent, that's on the person who set up the customer agent or who clicked the button. Ultimately, when all these consultants are involved, like, it's whoever clicked the button that says on. Like,
it kind of has to be though, right? Like,
right.
With great power comes great responsibility. So if you're going to flick the switches, you got to know what you're doing, and you got to know what you're turning on, where you're pointing it, what you're pointing it at, right? And I agree, but at the same time, when I think about it, like, so, that's why I see a whole new arm of digital law, right? Specifically bent towards AI, because the same rule definitely doesn't apply to Waymo, right? Like, if something goes wrong there and I bought the ride, I'm not going to be held liable because I bought the ride, right? Like, that's absolutely like 100% Waymo's issue, right? So there's something to be said about that, because you look at that situation and that scenario and you're saying, well, I'm spending the money on this service and this product that isn't going to be under my control necessarily, right? It has a mind of its own, per se, and could potentially on its own do something bad, right? Now, to your point, if you set something up yourself, yes, I see it. But if you add an agent from a marketplace, who's liable? Right? Like, because now you might be the end user, but the agent was set up by somebody else. So is the somebody else who set it up, like, you know what I mean? Like, is who put it? Yeah, right. Like, I imagine it's the same as app marketplace, right? Like, honestly, like, it all goes back to creator, per se, right?
Well, the first step is like whoever activates the thing, and
Yeah.
then if you activated it, and it did something that it wasn't supposed to do, then you go and see in the T's and C's or in the whatever commitment was made, it was supposed to do this, it did this instead. And if you
Mhm.
can show that, then whoever made the software, or in this case, the agent, like didn't make good on its promise of how it executes the activity. Um, but yeah, ultimately, I think there needs to be a new legal infrastructure to support
Right.
these kinds of things. And back to the ads, like, just this week, somebody was posting about the level of fraud when it comes to ads. And it gave this big, like,
Clickbait.
this is how you determine how many bots are involved in your numbers. And this is all the work that you have to do to get the real understanding of ROI. And I commented, I was just like, can we just be done like with
Yeah.
ads already?
Yeah.
Like, why would any business go through this amount of effort to confirm that, oh, 40% of our ad clicks or ad impressions are actually bots? And so we take that out, and now here's the real, like, and mentioned something to the effect of like, besides, once we have agents buying from other agents, this won't really matter too much, anyways. And the person who I respect a lot, said, "Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get there." And
You
it's
know,
like, what world?
it's
What world are you living in right now?
I don't know, right? And it's and like not to jump from one thing to another, but I do. I want to touch on as many stories this week as I can,
Yep.
or at least today as I can from this week. Another one that seriously grabbed my attention, and I gotta say, like for a while there, I was really questioning why Zucks wasn't putting the money behind Quest, and why he was like continually going after what seemed like like more llama effort, right? And this whole like ASI effort and everything. And I couldn't quite put it together. And it's like, well, you don't need that tech. I don't understand why you're trying to build that. Llama turns out it's not really that great, but also turns out that like it is decent for like a base underlying model. So seems to be like all right for that. And then people kind of just architect on top of it. Um, and then these new glasses drop. And so if you haven't seen it, they're the new Ray-Bans, basically Meta Ray-Ban, I guess. And the difference in these is twofold. One is awesome. The second is ingenious. Uh, the first is the display. The display is beautiful. It looks just like Aria from Google. And to be honest with you, it's like a little bit clearer. You can watch video on it, you can pull up messages, you can do a lot of, you can do a lot. You can interface with a lot of content from your phone or from the web or from one of your apps right within your glasses. The second part that I thought was amazingly ingenious, right? Now, if you've seen, Quest, that's one thing, right? And it's pretty cool. The controllers are pretty good. The What's interesting is like how well it can detect your fingers based on like your hand movement around the controller. Especially the new one. The old one at least had like a ring that could kind of read your hands. The new one doesn't even have that. So it's like it's getting better by touch, which was like a very odd thing. Except when I thought about the reverse of that sensor, right? So instead of actually needing something to read and see your fingers moving, it's actually just a matter of like understanding that, hey, their finger isn't on the controller now, so extend that finger outward, right? Um, and so then he demos the glasses and he's moving around all this stuff, And he's like, yeah. And then there's this new, which I actually forget the name of it now. There's, he has this new controlling device and it goes around his wrist. And he's like, yeah, this is the way in which you control everything that's happening on the Quest or on the Ray-Ban glasses. And you can, like, it's really like fairly imperceptible to see it. Let me pull it up.
Yeah. And it's just this, like, you can.
Oh, it's not even like that. So what's funny, right, is that was one of the things of the Apple Vision, which was pretty decent, right? That like, oh, okay, I can like see what I'm doing. It's so subtle, man. It's absolutely nuts. Let me just pull this up really quick because
It's based on like touch.
Yes.
And, like, the signals. Like, imagine if this is like a circuit and you bring it together. Now it's a different circuit, like for the signals, and then that's what it's using to speak from the band to the glasses, I guess.
Well, it's a little
closer to like neural style like signaling.
So I was gonna say it's like a little, it's like twofold, right? So it's that plus the fact that like when you use your phone, most people don't think about it, but when you use your phone, your thumb moves in very specific patterns, right? And you pretty much use like your finger as like the other aspect of that, right? And so because you use your thumb in certain patterns, these ligaments move according to where your thumb is moving. And so if you had a device that wrapped around your wrist that could read what your ligaments were doing as your thumb was moving, then it understands where your thumb is and what direction it's going in and all of that kind of stuff, even how fast you might be moving your thumb in terms of scroll speed, right? I thought it was like, not like groundbreaking, obviously, right? But just like very, very cool in terms of just imperceptible, like ability to control something.
Sharper than any major headset that's out there, and up to 5,000 nits of brightness. So it is crisp.
I don't know what a nit. I don't know what a nit is at this point.
Yeah.
Whether you're
I don't think you're sharing sound either.
Oh,
so you know.
Really? Oh, it should. I'm sorry. Let's see. So I wish I had better control over this, but.
I guess I should finally set up my Mudra band, which same kind of design.
Stay. And then there says we are replacing the keyboard, mouse, touchscreen.
I like this to me is just like
with the ability
nuts.
to send signals from your brain with little.
I thought that was awesome. Like, of all the things to screw up was just the word brain.
Muscle movements that the neural band will pick up so you can silently control your glasses with barely perceptible movements. We have built a neural
band
interface into a durable, lightweight, comfortable, and good-looking wristband. We wanted to make it really easy to send and receive messages. So it's good to just be able to type without anyone seeing. And so now I'm going to be able to open up Meta AI with a subtle tap that you're probably not even going to see. Play California Dreamin'.
From Spotify, here's California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas.
All right, and if I want to adjust the volume, I act like there's a volume control in front of me, and I can just turn it, and there we go. With the Ray-Ban Metas, they're going to be able to turn up the volume on a friend, but with the display, you could do even better. You can put subtitles on the world.
Yeah, let me get it going right now.
All right.
We're ready for it.
If you have an issue hearing, then I think that this is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also cool, it can do translation. So if I'm talking to somebody who speaks a different language than me, I'll get a translation in my native language right on the display, real life subtitles.
All right, should we show the camera? Let's do it. All right, so let me just go ahead and pull up the camera. I got a lot of missed calls from you.
Yeah.
I
I was trying.
don't know what happened.
I was trying to call
I
you.
don't know what happened.
Were you busy?
Yeah, you know, all right. All right, which particular, you got some sick shoes, man.
Some Alex Alpert Oakley's
Yeah,
here.
there you go, all right. I'll take some photos. You know what? Let's go ahead and take a video.
Thank you.
Really like to notice is the fact that he was able to zoom in, right? Again, without like the band being in view of per se the camera on the glasses, right? So it is like in terms of like the difference between that and Apple Vision, right? It's like this extra little nuance that like really takes it to another level. Like, I don't know. To me, that's probably one of the top like devices, like AI device use cases so far. And it just has my mind like racing to try to figure out and put together like, okay, that's what Meta has. That's what they've put together. There's already something that blocked open, or not blocked, but like there's already something that took OpenAI to court over not only the name for Johnny Ive's company, but also like the fact that it was an on-ear device or potentially on-ear device. With Meta having the band, there's no way that OpenAI could do anything with a band. But they have on-device, they have a family of devices coming. I don't know. I really don't know. The only thing that like that's obviously been speculated but not really mentioned is a phone. Right? I mean, that's certainly possible. I would think there would be some leak about that because you'd have to talk to a lot of different distribution partners for it, but certainly possible.
So
I don't know. What do you think? Like,
why do you think they can't do the band?
I think they can't do the band because, or I mean, you know, they potentially could, but it's a matter of if they were using the band for that particular reason, right? So in terms of IP and, you know, trying to protect their product, right? I'm sure that Meta filed an army full of patents on their neural band, right? So that's definitely going to not necessarily prevent OpenAI from going along the same route, but certainly changes how they're going to be able to do it. I don't know. Like, I would imagine that there's definitely going to be a minute before you see another like neural band type device.
Well, it depends on like
the specifics of how it works, right?
I've had this thing for a while and I haven't used it. But it, like functionally, like this is just the band by itself without the glasses. And instead of hooking to glasses, it's supposed to hook to your computer so that I can click around using the same kind of movements. It will be interesting to see how all this technology like converges in the way that like the software needs it to, because we're seeing a lot of convergence with LLM functionality. And like, is there going to be this like protective, again, scarcity mindset based, you know, struggle between these organizations? I think AI, like the main reason that other company got upset with OpenAI is like they called it like exactly what the other company was called.
Yeah, the IO.
Right. And they're like, come on, guys. Like,
I mean, it is a very, you know, it's a different spelling, and there's plenty of companies out there that have nearly the same spelling, some that have the exact same name, but are just different types of companies. So I do get it though, like having two companies in the device space, in the AI device space, both name the exact, pretty much similar name, right? That I understand. You know, maybe they came up with it and oddly didn't bother to do the research, and then maybe didn't think those guys were going to bother him about it. Who knows?
We
But
know
still,
that
like,
about-
yeah, I don't. No, given Sam's record
more
for
knowledge,
like,
yeah.
nah, just do it and we'll see what happens.
Oh no, it's
Um,
like one was like spelled IO and the other one is
like
EYEO or
Yeah.
something like that. And it's like, but again, I think we'll get to the point where abundance just takes over and this whole idea that I got to protect mine. Like, and just it's going to be very hard to win against. So it'll be interesting if like Meta and OpenAI get into a battle like that. That would
I
be a
mean, I can
different story.
definitely, I can see it only because of the fact that Meta's a publicly traded company. So it's not even just that their reputation is at stake, but also, share price. So they have to protect everything that they put out, right?
Right.
So that's why I say that it's probably going to be a while before anybody else has a band type device. Pretty much for that reason. I mean, I think like AirPods came out, and then it was a while before anybody like had any other type of like, non whatever cordless bud headphones or whatever. I don't know, like maybe the terms are different on electronics. I would kind of hope that they are because you can do
There's
so
so much
much
that goes
distribution,
into it.
right?
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
But we thank them either way for building all this cool stuff. You
Yep.
had to think that we were going to hear from Zuckerberg on this part of the hardware movement forward, and like he's got to be coming back to the metaverse like at some point
Hopefully soon.
with this stuff. So, and we'll be here to let you know when that's happening. Until Monday, my friend.
Yep. Until then, sir.
I'll see everybody next time.
Have a great weekend.